from a hot, muggy, sticky Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, Retro Sports Network presents the Saturday Game of the Week. Today, from New York, the New York Yankees host the Chicago White Sox. The Yankees and Minnesota Twins are in a dogfight for the American League as we get into the middle of June. The White Sox only finished 2 games out in real life, but they're 24-24. Let's show you the standings. At the moment, the Twins held a half-game lead over the Yankees, who have only won 4 of their last 10. These two teams played a doubleheader last night, and they split, with Whitey Ford winning the nightcap. So, and Baltimore, by the way, has now won 7 out of 10. So the Yankees and Twins, who would win the pennant in 65, and the Orioles are in this massive dogfight, with the Tigers and the White Sox hanging in, and surprisingly, the Boston Red Sox are 27-29. Why is that surprising? They're 2 games under 500? No, they lost 100 games in 64. They're playing well over their heads. In the National League right now, the Pirates hold a 5-game lead over the Giants and the Reds. 7 over the surprising Cubs, and 8 over the Cardinals, who are about to get, in 2 days, on Monday, they get Lou Brock. Poor Ernie Broglio, a nation turns its lonely eyes to you. But today we focus on New York and the White Sox, and pitching for the Yankees will be Al Downing, who is 6-2 on the year, a 3.09 ERA. We had him way back in April. Excuse me. The first weekend of this replay against Baltimore. Anyway, he's 6-2 in 70 innings. He's allowed 48 hits, 5 homers. He's walked 31 and struck out 63. This will be the defense behind him. And yes, this is not original Yankee Stadium. I didn't somehow, when I copied over the ballparks from one to the other, that one didn't go. So I'll have to redo it before too much longer to get that vintage 60s look back. Anyway, the defense around Downing, it's Tom Tresh in left, Mickey Mantle in center. And Roger Barra said, right as I choke. That's no fun. Tresh is the best defender. He has an 8 range. And Mantle has the best arm with an 8. Okay, I think I'm done coughing in your ear. Infield for the Yankees is Phil Linz at third, not Clete Boyer. Tony Kubek at short. Bobby Richardson, who's no longer rated a Richardson, but just a plain 10. And Joe Pepitone. I made that mistake every time I've had the Yankees on. We'll play first. It's a pretty good right side of the infield. Richardson's a 10, Pepitone is a 9, Kubek is a 6, and Linz is a 5. Catching for the Yankees is the 1963 American League MVP, Elston Howard, who was a 10 range and a 9 arm. And this is a lineup that Downing will face. Jim Landis will lead it off and play center for the White Sox. Al Weiss, the light-hitting second baseman, will bat second. Ward will bat third. Play third. Ron Hansen is the shortstop. He'll bat fourth. Eddie Robinson, the right fielder, he'll bat fifth. Dave Nicholson, the left fielder, will bat sixth. Tommy McGraw is at first, he'll bat seventh. Dave McNerney, the catcher, will bat eighth. And Eddie Kreutzer is the pitcher, and he will bat ninth. This White Sox team is not going to beat you with their power bats. It's going to be the Go-Go Sox. They will nickel and dime you to death. Jim Landis steps to the plate. 238, no homers, and 4 RBI. When I said it was a nasty, sticky day in the Bronx, it's 87 and raining here. But we'll get 5 in. Downing's pitch is a ball forward to Landis. And so that's how this one starts. Landis has a 74% chance of stealing. Throw to first. Landis is back. Al Weiss, the batter. Al at 238. 2 homers and 15 RBI. Matches his real-life total. Pitch to Weiss. Ground ball to Kubek. To Richardson for 1. To Pepitone for 2. So 2 out for the White Sox. And here comes Pete Ward, who was their power hitter, or is their power hitter. 277. 7 homers and 16 RBI. Downing delivers. Ground ball to Richardson over to Pepitone, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 1/2 of 1 inning. It is the White Sox, nothing the Yankees, coming to bed. And that quick break while I take a drink of water. Let's tell you about Frank Kreutzer, shall we? He has an 0.79 ERA. He has a record of 1-0. In 22 innings, he's allowed 14 hits, no homers, walked 6 and struck out 14. Much better than his real-life numbers, but he wasn't a bad pitcher in real life. 3-1 with a 3.38. The defense around him, Pete Ward is at third, Ron Hansen at short, Al Weiss at second, and Tommy McCraw is at first. Ward and Hansen had the best ranges in that infield. Weiss and McCraw aren't bad. Weiss is a little bit above average, and so is McCraw. McNerney is a below-average catcher with a below-average arm, 4-3. In the outfield, it's not pretty in left field. Nicholson has an average range, but he has a wet noodle for an arm with a 1. Landis, 10 range, he will get pretty much anything hit his way in a 7 arm, and Robinson is average 5-5. Here's the lineup the Yankees will send to the plate. Tony Kubek will lead it off. Bobby Richardson will bat second and play second. Roger Maris will bat third. Mickey Mantle, the cleanup hitter. The M&M boys are hitting .224 and .239 respectively. Tom Tresh will bat fifth. Elson Howard, the catcher, bat sixth. Joe Pepitone will bat seventh. Phil Linz, the harmonica playing Yogi Berra, loving third baseman, will bat eighth, and Al Downing, who pitched 11 pitches in the first, will bat ninth. Kubek, 276, 5 homers, 14 RBI, well over his head. He was only .229 hitter in 64. Here's a line drive, right to Weiss for the first out. Here's Bobby Richardson, 297. No homers and 15 RBI. Kreutzer delivers. There's a ground ball to third. Ward to McCraw for the out. 2 out. Baltimore and Boston scoreless in the first. Here's Roger Maris. 224. 6 homers and 20 RBI. Pitch. Fly ball to right. Back goes Robinson. Makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 1 hits, no hits, no errors. Nothing across. After 1, no score. So Downing takes the hill for a second inning and will face Ron Hansen. At 249, 2 homers and 23 RBI. This, of course, is the renovated stadium that you're seeing. The facade there was not there. It was around facing the other way at the original stadium. If you see the seats in the black there, if you see Mantle's name and the blurry wall, those are the original seats, along with the sections there in left center. And the scoreboard in the old place would be, well, I believe it was a Fleet Bank ad they're covering there. If you see where the Yankee logo and the Adidas stuff is in right center, that's where the original scoreboard was. And when we get to look right again, that's what it will look like. All right. Downing delivers. There's a pop-up left side. Kubek should have it, and he does. 1 out. White Sox, by the way, wearing light blue road uniforms with Chicago in dark blue and black letters. Hat is a dark blue with the SOX across the front. And the Yankees are in their home pinstripes. You know what the Yankee uniforms look like. Here's Floyd Robinson at 369. 3 homers and 18 RBI. Pitch from Downing is a fly ball to right. Back goes Maris, 2 out. So here's Dave Nicholson at 238. 10 homers and 27 RBI. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Kubek on the wet grass to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1.5 down. There's still no score. So Twins and Senators, the old Senators and the new Senators, tied, no score in the first. Here's Mickey Mantle at 239. He should be a 303 hitter with 10 homers and 25 RBI. Kreutzer delivers strike 3. A 2-2 pitch outside on the black, and that'll bring up Tom Teresh, who was compensating for Maris and Mantle. He's at 277, 8 homers and 25 RBI. Pitch from Kreutzer is outside, ball 4. So 3-1 fastball misses out, and that's a walk for Teresh. Here's Elston Howard. Elston at 278, 3 homers and 19 RBI. And yes, we will try to steal Teresh. To throw down, he is safe. That is his 5th steal of the year. And it's a 1-strike count to Howard. Kreutzer delivers, and that's going to score a run. That's going to go into the gap in right center. Teresh will round third. We'll try and score off of Landis. Here comes the throw. It will not be in time, and the Yankees lead 1-0. So I'll bring up Joe Pepitone. Joe is at 293, 16 homers and 43 RBI. Not what the Twins wanted to see down in D.C. They are scoreless in the second. Pepitone pops this one into center. Landis should have it. 1 out. Beg your pardon, 2 out. Here's Phil Linz at 194, a homer and 5 RBI. Pitch from Kreutzer. There's a liner in the left that will go all the way to the wall. Howard will hold at third. Linz will hold with a double. 2 out for Downing. And Kreutzer, who, as you can see, pitched for the for the Senators for a while, is not a happy camper. Downing is at 240, no homers and 2 RBI on the year. 2 out, 1-0 to York. Here's the pitch. Got him! Struck him out. He swung on and missed. Not to end the inning, not before the Yankees get a run on 2 hits and no errors. After 2, it's the Yankees 1, the White Sox 0. Angels and Tigers scoreless in the third. All the scores after this inning. Tommy McCraw, Jerry McNerney, and Kreutzer will do up for the White Sox. McCraw at 222, 2 homers and 13 RBI. Pitch. Ball 4. So here's McNerney at 179, no homers and 6 RBI. Or what we would call a 1960s catcher. Ground ball to third. Linz to Richardson for 1. Over to Pepitone for 2. And here's Frank Kreutzer, who's 0 for 2 on the year with a strikeout. Downing delivers right back to Al, over to Pepitone, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2.5, it's the Yankees 1, the White Sox 0. Phillies lead the Mets 2-0 in the third. Tony Kubek steps to the plate. Through the first 9 hitters, Kreutzer a very tiny 27 pitches in 2 innings, 2 hits. A run it was earned. He walked 1 and struck out 2. Kubek is 0 for 1. Tony would play 1 more year, I think, and then make the immediate jump to NBC television when they got the Game of the Week package. Pitch to Tony is a fly ball to left center. Landis has room for the out. Tony, I believe, is one of the best color analysts for any sport ever to call a game on television. He just knew what he was talking about. Here's Bobby Richardson. Bobby's 0 for 1. Orioles and Red Sox scoreless in the fourth. And Richardson strikes out a full count pitch. He swung on and missed. That's rare. Kreutzer has 3. Here's Maris. Roger is 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to right. Robinson doesn't really even have to move. So we've played 3. It's the Yankees 1, 0 across here in the third. The White Sox 0. So as Al Downing takes his warm-up pitches here in the fourth, let's get you updated on the scoreboard. As we said, the Phillies lead the Mets 2-0. Jim Bunning and Frank Larry going at it at Shibe Park. I don't know when they renamed it Connie Mack. I thought it was before 64. Minnesota and Washington, the game that the Yankees have a fair amount of interest in. Scoreless in the bottom of the third. Rolling to Claude Osteen. If the Senators win, Osteen will pick up his 8th win. The Angels and Tigers scoreless in the bottom of the fourth. Newman and Dave Wickersham going in that one. And the Orioles, on a solo shot by Jackie Brandt, his fourth of the year, lead the Red Sox 1-0 in the top of the fourth. Wally Bunker and Don Wilson going in that one. So here is Landis. Downing has allowed 2 walks and 3 hits, and that's it. Through 9 batters, he's thrown 3 innings and 37 pitches. There's a long drive to deep left. It's gone. Into the old bullpens. It says it's 309, but that was hit a lot harder than that. So the Chi Sox have tied this game at 1. First hit and first run allowed by Downing. Here's Al Weiss, who's 0 for 1. And he strikes out. An 0-2 pitch. He swung on and missed a curve. That's the first strikeout from Downing. And 1 out for Ward. It was 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to second. Richardson to Pepitone, 2 out. Here's Ron Hansen. He's 0 for 1. Downing delivers. Fly ball to left, and that ball is gone. So 2 home runs into the rain give the White Sox a 2-1 lead. And you can hear the cheering all the way from Minneapolis to Baltimore. Here's Floyd Robinson. He's 0 for 1 today. Hitting .366 line drive. Richardson snares it to retire the side. Not before the Chi Sox get 2 runs on 2 hits and no errors. After 3.5, it is the White Sox 2, the Yankees 1. It'll be Mantle, Tresh, and Howard here for New York in the fourth. The weather hasn't changed. It's still 87, and it's still raining. Not a big crowd on hand. Mantle flies this one to left. Nicholson has it, 1 out. Tresh is up. Tommy walked and scored his first time. Howard on deck. Drove in that run in the second. Kreutzer delivers. That's popped up left side. Ward is there, 2 out. Here's Elston Howard. He singled home Tresh in the second. 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. Run, nobody on. Pitch from Kreutzer, popped up center field. Landis is there, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4, it's the White Sox 2, the Yankees 1. All right, so with the pregnant pause to scratch the itchy face. And here's Dave Nicholson. Dave is 0 for 1. It'll be Nicholson, McCraw, and McNerney here for Chicago in the 5th. Orioles 1-0 in the 6th over Boston. Pitch to Nicholson. Struck him out. The 1-2 pitch was called strike 3. Brings up McCraw, who walked his first time up. Pitch from Downing, fly ball to right. Maris retreats, makes the catch, 2 out. With the exception of those 2 balls that left the yard, Downing has been nearly spotless. Here's McNerney. Jerry is 0 for 1. Pitch, ground ball to third. Linz to Pepitone, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We're halfway home in the Bronx on a rainy Saturday. It's the White Sox 2, the Yankees 1. And that news, as I said, has gone down on the wire to Washington, and the Twins lead at 1-0 in the 5th. Pepitone, Linz, and Downing here for New York in the 5th inning. Joe's 0 for 1. Pitch from Kreutzer. Hits is a chopper to Kreutzer, but Ward cut it. The third baseman came in and cut it off and flung it over to retire the speedy Pepitone. There, we covered for that one, all right? All right, here's Phil Linz. He doubled his first time up. He's 1 for 1. Kreutzer delivers. Chopper to third. Ward to McCraw. And my partner Ricky there says hello. We'll be right back with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Just in case, we hadn't quite ruined the immersion yet, playing a game from 64 in 2017 on a laptop with me talking to a mic. I hope no one really thinks he's in from 64. All right, here's Al Downing, 2 outs here in the 5th. Nobody on. It's warmed up. It's now 88 degrees. I'm sure those people who were there in the rain kind of feel better with it, but God, that must have been so muggy in the press box. Here's the pitch from Kreutzer. Ground ball to third. Ward over to McCraw. Ward gets 3 assists, 2 of them the conventional way. Nothing across in the bottom of the 5th. After 5, it's the White Sox 2, the Yankees 1. So Downing will face Kreutzer here to start the 6th. Scores coming up after this inning. It's the Angels and the Tigers scoreless in the 6th in Detroit. Kreutzer's 0 for 1. Pitch from Downing. Up the middle, base hit. So Mantle tosses it back in, so Kreutzer gets, that's his first hit of the year, I'm sure. So Downing, as he starts his 3rd time through the Chicago lineup, a very tiny 73 pitches. That's over 35 per 9. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He has walked 2 and struck out 2. One of those walks is for Jim Landis, who homered his last time up in the 4th. He is 1 for 1. Drove himself in. Ground ball to Kubek. Over to Pepitone. Only throw is at first, and they got him. 1 out. And here's the light-hitting Al Weiss, who was 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Now, in this city, he had 2 big hits. I believe they were home runs. In the World Series, in the 69 series, he was wearing pinstripes, but met pinstripes. He did it in 69. Pitch from Downing. And Weiss puts 1 down. Linz over to first. That's a good sacrifice. 2 out. Kreutzer moves over to third. And here is Pete Ward, who is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. That's up the middle. Base hit. So the White Sox go up 3-1 as Kreutzer scores. Good news for the Birds as they lead the Red Sox. Sorry, Al. 2-0 in the 7th. So here's Ron Hansen. He had the other solo shot to left center in the 4th. Ward on first. Chopper to third. Linz over to Pepitone. Hansen beats it out. So that's the 5th hit allowed by Downing. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the White Sox. They've stranded nobody so far. The Yankees, 1 run on 2 hits and no errors, and they've stranded 2. Floyd Robinson is 0 for 2. Ward on second, Hansen on first. Robinson struck him out. He swung on and missed a 2-2 fastball to end the inning. Not before the Chi Sox get 1 run on 3 hits and no errors. After 5.5, it is the White Sox 3 and the Yankees 1. It'll be the top of the lineup for New York. Kubek, Richardson, and Maris for the Yankees in the Yankees 6. Tony's 0 for 2. Kreutzer in his first 18, 5 innings, 55 pitches. That's efficient. 2 hits, a run it was earned. He has walked 1 and struck out 3. Pitch to Kubek. Fly ball to left. Nicholson's there, 1 out. As Bobby Richardson steps to the plate, I want to follow through with something or follow up with something that we did with the Red Sox replay. I told you the last time that the White Sox and Red Sox played in the 46 replay about my friend Gary, and he did pass away. He certainly would have remembered this 64 White Sox team. I'll tell you the story that he told me. He grew up in Chicago, was a college professor. We lost him a couple weeks ago. We'll have a service for him coming up soon. He was, I believe this was either 60 or 61. Went to a game at Comiskey Park, and it was against the Yankees. You know, everyone's biggest rival then was the Yankees. And so this was after the scoreboard opened up, the exploding scoreboard. So one of the Yankees hit a home run, and he told me who it was, and I blanked it. And when he came back to the dugout, he must have been able to see the Yankee dugout because they greeted him with sparklers, which is pretty cool. One of those inside stories. Gary, we miss you and we love you. Now, here's Bobby Richardson, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch from Kreutzer. There's a grounder right back to him, and he throws over to first for the second out. 2 outs here in the 6th for Roger Maris, who's 0 for 2. Twins lead 1-0 in the 7th. So everything's coming up aces for the Twins and the Orioles and the White Sox. Maris struck him out. 1-2 pitch was swung on and missed. So Kreutzer, kind of a half smile as he goes back to the dugout. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6, it's 3-1 Chicago. So let's get you updated on what's going on around baseball. Bottom of the 7th from Philadelphia. Phillies 2, the Mets nothing. Bunting and Larry in that one. It's still Osteen and Rowland in the bottom of the 7th. The Twins 1, the Senators nothing. Top of the 8th from Tiger Stadium. The Angels and Tigers are scoreless. Wickersham and Newman going in that one. Baltimore now leads Boston 5-0. Another home run from Jerry Adair, I think. Maybe not. No, it was someone else had the home run. So Adair adds a homer to that. Bunker and Wilson going in that one. Pittsburgh and the Cubs scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. Law and Toth. Law with a win would go 9-2. And Jim Maloney is a 10-game winner for the Reds. They lead the Colt 45s 1-0 in the top of the 4th. Nicholson, McCraw, and McNerney here for the White Sox in the 7th to face Downing. And Nicholson starts the inning with a walk. High and outside on a 3-0 pitch, and they'll bring up McCraw, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Oh no, we'll be right back. I think I've lost my ticker now, too. Ah, darn it. Nicholson on first, nobody out here in the 7th. So again, McCraw is 0 for 1 with a walk. He will drop a bunt down. It's a tremendous play by Howard to make it, and there is 1 out. It's a sack bunt. Nicholson goes to second. Yeah, I lost my ticker with the error. So we'll give you all the scores after the game, all the finals. Here's McNerney. He's 0 for 2. Pitch from Downing. Walked him. So a second walk for Downing in the inning. That's his 4th. Here's Kreutzer. Let's see what they do here. He went 1 for 11 on the real year. He's 1 for 4 on the sim season. White Sox leading 3-1. 1 out in the 7th. Kreutzer takes strike 3 at the bell on a 1-2 pitch. That's the 4th for Downing. And so the 4th time through 107 pitches after 27 batters, 6 2/3 innings. 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He has walked 4 and struck out 4. Here's Landis. Jim is 1 for 2. He is homered. He has walked. He drove it himself. His first homer and 5th RBI of the year. Here's a ground ball to short. Kubek to Richardson, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Stretch time here in New York in the rain. It is Chicago 3, New York 1. So here's Mickey Mantle. Mickey is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Tresh and Howard to follow. Kreutzer, 67 pitches through 6. Mantle pops this one up. Left side. Ward should have it. He does. 1 out for Tom Tresh, who is walked. Scored the lone Yankee run in the 2nd and is 0 for 1. And then we got the rain delay that we were thinking of. And so, oh wow. I hope you talks amongst yourselves because it rained for almost 2 full hours. So we were at an hour 50 of gameplay. So let's say this game started at 2 o'clock. So it's 4 o'clock. And so now that we've reached about 6 o'clock Eastern time, well, we welcome you back to New York. For the last 2.5 innings of the White Sox and the Yankees, the rain has stopped. The weather has cleared in it. If you thought it was muggy before, It's now 90 degrees and the sun is shining. Oh, baby. So Hoyt Wilhelm will come in to close it out for the Chi Sox. He is 3-3 on the year with 7 saves and a 1.24 ERA in 29 innings, 20 hits, a home run, walked 9 and struck out 17. He will bat 9th. This is his game. And Tresh is still 0 for 1. Fly ball to right. Or popped up to first. McCraw will have it. You do that, you'll bring more rain. 1 out, 2 out. I'm surprised this one didn't get called. Elson Howard, the batter, 1 for 2. He singled and drove in a run. At one point, cats and dogs were dancing on the infield. It was raining that hard. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to second. Weiss over to McCraw, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. And after, I would think so, after 7, it's the White Sox 3, the Yankees 1. Of course, Downing has a sore arm. All right, so it'll be Bill Stafford coming in after the rain delay. Stafford 1-0 on the year with a 3.18 ERA. 22 innings, 18 hits, no home runs. He has walked 5, struck out 15. I imagine that he'll bat in the 8th if Pipitone and Linz don't reach. Here's Al Weiss. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Here's a ground ball base hit right side. So that gets in the through the mud. And so Weiss starts off the 8th with a hit. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the White Sox. They've stranded 4. The Yankees are run on 2 hits and no errors. And they've stranded 2. Here's Pete Ward. Ward has an RBI single. He's 1 for 3. Stafford delivers, and Ward will draw the walk. And Stafford says a few words to Ronnie Millsap behind the plate. And so does Howard, and Ronnie doesn't ring him up. So it'll be Al Weiss and Pete Ward on. 2 on, nobody out for Ron Hansen, who was singled and homered. He's 2 for 3. His home run was the 3rd of the year. Fly ball deep to right. That'll stay in the yard. Maris makes the catch. Weiss moves over to 3rd, 1 out. Runners in the corners. Yanks will play it halfway. For Robinson, Floyd is 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Stafford delivers, strike 3. An 0-2 changeup out of the zone, 2 out. That'll bring up Nicholson. Dave is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. The pitch, fly ball to center. Mantles there. And that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 7.5, it's the White Sox 3, the Yankees 1. Oh, you get that the back when we can. So it'll be Joe Pipitone, Linz, and Stafford, maybe, for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 8th. Pipitone is 0 for 2. White Wilhelm looks so comfortable in that jacket. And the knuckler is hit into right field. Robinson's there, 1 out. So if Linz does not reach, Stafford will stay in the game. Linz is 1 for 2 with a double. Wilhelm delivers. Grounder to short. Hansen to McCraw, 2 out. So Stafford will stay in the game. He's 1 for 2 on the year. Wilhelm in to save this one. Chopper to Ward. Over to McCraw, and that retires the side in the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 9th. It's the White Sox 3, the Yankees 1. So here it'll be Tommy McGraw, McNerney, and we'll see about Wilhelm for the bottom of the 9th. I would think that they would leave him in. McCraw is 0 for 1 with a walk. Pitch to Stafford, fly ball to left. Tresh has it. 1 out for McNerney, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Pitch from Stafford, struck him out. A 1-2 pitch that was swung on and missed, a breaking ball. So here's Hoyt Wilhelm. At least for the moment, he's 1 for 5. Nope. Gene Stevens will get a pinch hitter, and Gene is at 259, a homer, and 2 RBI. So no save for Wilhelm, as he's lifted for a pinch hitter here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Pitch to Gene is a fly ball to right center, and it will go all the way to the wall. It's a double for Gene, so it was the right move. The pinch hit double, and here is Jim Landis, who homered in the fourth. 1 for 3 with a walk. Stafford delivers, got him. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 8.5 in the books. Eddie Fisher on the hill for the White Sox. It's 3-1 Chicago. And it'll be the top of the lineup. Kubek, Richardson, and Maris here in the ninth for New York. Tony is 0 for 3. Pitch from Fisher. Fly ball to center. Right center. Landis tracks it down, 1 out. Bobby Richardson, the batter, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Ground ball to second. Weiss to McCraw, 2 out. So the was a low throw, but McCraw blocked it with his body and kept his foot on the bag. So Roger Maris, the last hope today. Wilhelm, Kreutzer, and Fisher have combined on a 2-hitter. Maris, fly ball left center. Nicholson makes the catch, and that's the ball game. So the White Sox win 3-1. So 2.5 hours it took to play, and then essentially 2-hour rain delay. So the game technically ends about 6:30, just in time for the kiddies to get comfortable in front of the television for Porter Wagner. The White Sox, without win, go to 25-24. The Yankees drop to 32-20. New York pulled ahead 1-0 in the second on an RBI single from Elston Howard. They on a run and 2 hits. The White Sox got both of their runs in the fourth on solo shots to left center. Landis with his first and Hansen with his third. And then Pete Ward singled home the pitcher Kreutzer as the insurance run to give the White Sox a 3-run margin, or 3-1 lead. 3-7-0 for the White Sox, 1-2-0 for the Yankees. Ron Hansen goes 2 for 4 with a homer for Chicago. Frank Kreutzer was great before the rain hit. 6 in the third inning, a run it was earned. He allowed both the hits. He walked 1 and struck out 4. He goes to 2-0 on the year. Wade Wilhelm with a great hold, and Eddie Fisher with a perfect ninth for a second save. Al Downing, 7 innings, 3 runs, all earned, 5 hits. He walked 4 and struck out 4. He goes to 6-3. So on this rain-soaked Tuesday or Saturday, let's go through the scores. Jim Bunning shut out the Mets. Phillies 2-0. Minnesota shut out the Senators 2-0. Rowland with a win. Shiflett with a save. Osteen with a loss. Angels knocked the Tigers down 7-2. Newman with his 5th. Wickersham drops to 6-2. Sorry, Al. Baltimore 5. Boston 3. Wally Bunker goes to 6-1. Earl Wilson goes to 3-4. Stu Miller with his 11th save. The Cubs beat the Pirates. Wow, 4-1. Toth with a win, his first. Law with a loss, he goes to 8-3. And Lindy McDaniel picks up his 8th save. Cincinnati 5, Houston 1. Jim Maloney wins his 11th of the year. St. Louis beats the Dodgers 6-4. Bobby Shantz with a win. He goes to 2-1. Miller 0-1. Roger Craig with a save. Juan Marichal shuts out the Braves 2-0. So the Giants and Reds are now at 32-23, 5 behind Pittsburgh. Cleveland beats Kansas City 6-5. Abernathy with a win. Grisenda with a loss in the game you just saw. The White Sox beat the Yankees 3-1. So Tony Oliva has 23 homers and 50 RBI. That leads all the majors. Roberto Clemente is hitting .382. Sandy Koufax with a 1.51 ERA. And Bob Veal has won 12 games for the Pirates, 1 ahead of Marichal and Maloney. All right, let's tell you where we will be on Wednesday. We will be with the Chicago White Sox again as they play the Baltimore Orioles. Let's see, do we have any other better options? Because we're doing the Yankees next Saturday. The Yankees and White. Let's see what else we can find. Because we're doing the White Sox and Yankees again next Saturday. Mets and Pirates. Geez, I think that's pretty much why we did that game. I could do let's do San Francisco, and no, let's do the White Sox and the Orioles, just like I had it called. So that's where we will be Wednesday. And Saturday will be from Comiskey Park in Chicago for the Yankees and the White Sox. Have we got any other better options? No, I've kind of done them all before. So the Yankees and the White Sox. So you got 3 games of the White Sox in total. Let's see if they can do anything with it. So they'll be in Baltimore on Wednesday, and they will be hosting the Yankees on Saturday. And until then, which tells me I got to redo the stadium in Baltimore, because that's the default one. Is actually Camden Yards and not Memorial. So until then, I'm Ron Juckett for Retro Sports Network. We will talk to you the next time.